Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. This show is all about life transformations and our journey from where we were to why we are doing what we are doing today. We will discuss the hiccups, the roller coasters, and the blood, sweat, and tears that has been poured out while discovering our purpose. It is all about our transformations. Here is your host, Sean Douglas.
Welcome to Life Transformation Radio. I am your host, Master Resilience Implementer, TEDx speaker, performance enhancement expert, and author, Sean Douglas. I want to welcome all of our listeners who are listening from wherever you are. This show is currently heard in over 30 countries, such as the U.S., India, Canada, Norway, France, Australia, and Panama. So I want to thank you to those who are listening from around the world. Life Transformation Radio is all about our transformations. Here, we tell the stories of why we're doing what we're doing, highlight that transformational moment that changed our lives, and how we are using these to help transform others and elevate their lives. You can listen to us every Wednesday and on the first and third Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. I also host special pop-up episodes for book launches, product launches, to promote an event. So be on the lookout for special pop-up episodes. On this show, we have impactful and amazing guests that are impacting everyone around them. And my guest today does exactly that. If you have a question for any of the guests, this is a live show if you're catching us on our normal listening times. So you just call in at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. So please help me welcome to the show, Jacqui Letran. What's happening?
Hey, Sean. I am doing fantastic today. How are you?
I am super excited to have you on the show. It's been a long time coming, and I could not be happier. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. I am super excited to be here. I've been looking forward to this. Meeting you a few months ago was definitely a highlight, and I've just been really excited about this conversation that we're going to have and just taking it to the next level.
Yeah, so we met at Steve Olsher's event in San Diego, New Media Summit, and you absolutely played full out that weekend. I loved it. Couldn't wait to get you on the show, and I'm excited. So
yes, let's do it. I'm excited too.
Let's do it. So this episode is titled Stop the Bully Within with Jacqui Letran. Jacqui is a multi-award-winning author, speaker, mindset mentor, and the host of the soon-to-be-released podcast, Stop the Bully Within. As a mindset mentor, Jacqui specializes in helping teens and young adults overcome the mental and emotional blocks from their past, build resiliency, and become their number one supporter and champion for success. Jacqui teaches that success and happiness are achievable by all, regardless of current struggles and circumstances. A gifted and energetic leader, Jacqui dedicates her life's work to help her clients and students transform into happy, confident, and successful people. If you want to connect with her, you can go to Jacqui is JacquiLetran.com, and you go to Facebook.com/Stop the Bully Within. So inside of that, you have three things I absolutely love: resiliency, overcoming, and transform. So I have three favorite things.
Yes,
so how did all this happen? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, thank you. So how did it all happen? It happened because I needed that resource at one time in my life, and I did not know where to go. I did not know how to access the resource, and because of that, I suffer significantly from low confidence, from self-hatred, from, really self-sabotaging behaviors. And so I struggled quite a bit for quite a long time. And once I overcame all of that and look back at what I've done and all the resources I have, all the information now I have, I knew I had to share with other people. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's a great segue into the into my favorite question that we have on the show, which is actually my next question. I feel like this is the very first question you should ask yourself every single day before every major decision is why. Why are we doing what we're doing? When you follow your why, I mean, great things happen. So, Jacqui, what is your why? Why do you do what you do?
So my why is probably my 14, 15, and 16-year-old self. Around that age was when my life kind of turned upside down, and I was really fortunate that I was not in an abusive relationship with anybody. I didn't have significant trauma, but because of what was happening in my life, because of all the changes in my life, and the lack of support that I have, I felt incredibly unlovable. I felt like that the world was out against me, that nobody cared about me. And because I have these misguided beliefs, I started acting out in an effort to get attention, in an effort to get love. And I didn't know how to do it in a healthy, positive way. So a lot of the things I did caused further pain, caused further problems. And I spiraled downhill pretty quickly. By the time I was 16, I found myself pregnant, a high school dropout, and I was on public assistance. At 16, your life is just starting, and you're supposed to be out there having fun with your friends and just doing these wonderful kid things. And here I am with a baby, and I was a baby myself. I had no clue what to do. And so because of all of that, I think back about that little girl all the time. Like, what would I've loved to have? What resources would have really made a difference in my life? What information would I need to know then that I could make healthier, more positive decisions? So every day when I do my work, that is my why. It's how can I impart some knowledge, some resources, some tools and techniques to help people who are struggling right now to start changing, start transforming, start taking control of their lives.
That is amazing. And you know what? I think that what you do really is the theme of this show. Like, how do we transform people's lives? So tell me, who were you before? Like, who was Jacqui before you got to this moment now? You go back 5, 10, however long you want. Who were you before you got to the moment that you're at now?
So we talked a little bit about that teen girls, right? So I'm just going to leave her for a little bit. Fast forward, I made the commitment to myself at a certain age that I was going to make a difference. And the way that I knew how to make a difference and the way that where I felt was needed was in the medical arena. So I went to school. I became a nurse practitioner. And for the first couple of years, I practiced general medicine because I want to get a basic foundation. And after I got done with setting up that strong foundation, I went into adolescent health because I definitely wanted to provide that service that I didn't have, that safety, that a place of acceptance for teens to come in to ask for help and actually receive healthy, positive guidance in a very accepting manner. And so I did that for probably 15 years. And around that time, 15-year-ish, I started getting very disenchanted with my work because I started noticing a pattern I didn't like. I started noticing that a lot of my patients who I was treating for anxiety and for depression and other mental health disorders were coming back to me too frequently and for too long. I was seeing them a year later, 3 years later, 5 years later. They're still on medication. They're still getting counseling. And they're still, using if I didn't have depression, my life would be perfect. Or if I didn't have anxiety, I can go after my dreams. And so after hearing these things and recognizing the pattern, I became so disenchanted because I went into this work to help people. And here I am feeling bad, feeling guilty for being a part of the system that keep people from being their best selves. And so I started researching different alternative options and discover all of these amazing, wonderful, holistic options that at first, when I first heard about it, I'm like, yeah, whatever. There's no way, hypnotherapy and NLP and mindset training could work. That's way too simple. But the more I learned, the more I fell in love with it. And so I gave up my medical practice and started my holistic healing practice. And I've been doing that since 2010, and I love it.
Yes. I love that. Thank you for sharing and being vulnerable. I really, really appreciate that. So let's talk about your transformational moment. Pick one
Oh,
or something really that, I mean, I think you already have it. I think you already have it. So what was that moment that set you on the course to what you're doing? What was that moment in your mind that really opened your eyes and said, yes, this is it? That transformational moment.
so you mentioned you like the vulnerability. I'm going to definitely give you a bunch more vulnerability.
Awesome.
And we're going to go back to that teenage girl again. So I was talking about, taking a lot of risks and doing a lot of self-sabotaging behaviors and finding myself pregnant at 16. Well, I gave birth to my son when I was 16. I turned 17 a month later. And I know the transitional moment, and I remember that incredibly clearly. And it was that exact moment I looked into my son's eyes for the very first time. Prior to, prior to giving birth to him and looking into his eyes, I really believed that I was unlovable and that there's something incredibly wrong with me and that I was not deserving of love. But when I look into my son's eyes and he hold my hand and he, hold onto my little pinky, I felt an immense love, a love that I've never experienced, a love I didn't know was possible. And in that moment, I knew that it was up to me to do something different. It was up to me to take control of my situation and stop that pattern of self-hatred and self-sabotage and do everything that I can do so that I can be deserving of this little boy's love. So the moment I look into my son's eyes, everything kind of clicked for me. And then that's the start of my whole transformational journey.
Boom. I love it. So what do you think was the best part about it?
Discovering that I'm lovable.
Yeah. I think there's a level of self-love, in every single transformational moment. I think there's a level of acceptance, and I think there's a level of self-love that has to be put into ourselves that maybe wasn't there before. I see the same theme over and over. Like I didn't believe and I didn't see and and now I do. You know what I mean? So I think there's a lot of self-love and acceptance of who we are that goes into it. What do you think?
I completely agree with you. The self-love, self-acceptance, and being kind to yourself and treating yourself with the same level of love and respect that you would treat another person that you care about is instrumental to transformation. Because if you're working to transform yourself and you want to get to the next level, but you don't love who you are and you don't think that you're worthy, you're not going to get there. So learning that, you are lovable and start to do those little things that adds up to showing yourself self-love is incredibly important in that journey.
Awesome. So what was the worst part about your transformation so far?
Well, I think the worst part is how long it took.
Yeah.
Right? We all want things instantaneously. And I discovered at 16 that I needed to make a change. And I started the healing journey. And it was a really difficult, painful journey because I didn't have the resources. I came from a poor family. And when I gave birth, I was on welfare. So I didn't have the luxury of just going out there and getting life coaches or mentoring or any of that. And so I struggled quite a bit. So I think, one of the biggest problem is when you don't have someone you trust or a trusted source like that, and you're trying to do everything on your own. I mean, I remember reading so many different books. And one book I would really resonate with, and it says, do this and do that. I'm like, yes, I have my answer. And I read the next book and I resonate with that. And it says, do something completely different. And I was completely confused. And, where do I really start? Where do I go? I mean, one book says do this and another guru, another book says that. I had no idea. So I think, having someone to help me through this, hold my hand and kind of guide me in the process would have shortened that transformational period big time.
Yep, completely agree. Completely agree. But if it happened too soon, then maybe we wouldn't have the great story to tell, right?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that because, think about it. Let's say you were suffering from depression for 10 years and you've been on every single medication possible and you're being seen by all of these, specialists or whatever, and nothing worked. And then you worked with the right person. And a few months later, you're taking charge of yourself. You're taking charge of your life, and you're happy and confident, and you're showing yourself love. I think that's an awesome, beautiful story.
That's true. That's very true. I like your perspective. Awesome. So through this whole thing, through the whole transformation and all of your journey so far, who's been your biggest influencer?
I'm going to have to say my son, because, again, if I did not have that, he is. I tell him all the time, I tell everybody that he is my biggest life teacher. From the moment I set eyes on him to every single struggle and challenges that we went through to every single giggles and laughter and bonding moment, he taught me so much about who I am as a person, what I'm capable of, and what is life really meant to be for me.
I love that. So on the flip side of that, who's been your biggest supporter?
My husband. I am so incredibly blessed and fortunate that my husband is 100% behind me, and that is regardless about what I want to do. Even if you think, okay, that's probably not the best decision, he'll let me know that, maybe that's not the best decision. But he said, it's up to you to do what you need to do. This is your life. This is your journey. And I'm here to support you. Whatever that looks like to you, I'm here. And he tells me that, and he shows me that consistently.
I love it. So if you had to go back, would you change anything, or would you do anything different?
No, I wouldn't. As painful as my experience was to me at that time, it's like you said, you wouldn't have a story to tell, right? If I change any part of that, that could cause me to become somebody completely different. And I'm in a place where I am I'm so happy with who I am. I'm so in love with my life, and I'm doing what I'm meant to do. And every aspect of my life is so incredibly wonderful. I wouldn't want to change any aspect of my past because I risk what I have right now. And everything that I learned from my past, all the pain, all of the journey, all of the transformation are instrumental to my work right now. If I didn't have those experiences, I might not be able to connect with my clients the way that I do and really be there for them the way that I can right now.
I love it. So I love this question. If you had to start over, you have the same mindset as of right now, you have the same knowledge and everything, right? What is the first thing that you would do if you had to start all over again?
Oh, wow. Do I get to keep my son?
Yeah.
I would make a lot of different decisions as a teenager, and that is, it's a hard question for me to answer, because if I answer it in my truth, my son would not be in the picture, and I would not give up my son for anything. But the first thing that I can do, that if I magically could do whatever I want with the same knowledge, the same mindset, and my son, I would travel. I mean, that for me is everything. I really like to experience new places, meet new people, learn new culture. And that to me is just so enriching to my life. And I didn't get to do a whole lot of that when I was younger because I was too busy, taking care of my son, going to school, and then eventually running my business. So I would give myself that freedom and luxury to travel.
Oh, where would you travel to?
When I was younger, I loved traveling abroad and just anywhere outside of the U.S. But now where I am today, I love my motorhome. I travel in my motorhome as much as I can because awesome. I didn't realize there are just so much beauty and history in America. I thought if I wanted beauty and history, I needed to go elsewhere. No, I don't. There's just so much here at home.
I love it. Yeah, our family loves road trips, and we're about to take a road trip next week from North Carolina to Las Vegas. I'm going to speak in Las Vegas, and we're going to drive from North Carolina all the way there. So, yeah, we do lots of road trips.
That is quite a road trip. I did the reverse. I did Orange County, California, to North Carolina when I moved here a year ago.
Oof, that's long. Coast to coast, that's long.
It was, but I had the luxury of taking a whole month off, and so we explore and play that whole time.
Did you have the RV too? Because we're taking a van, so.
We had the RV, and we traveled with 3 cats and a dog.
Yeah, we really, really want to get an RV, but yeah, that's kind of one of the things that we're trying to get to. But one day we'll make that happen. Once I'm retired, I'm not really doing the things that I'm doing, so it's on the list.
I'm going to give a plug for the RV life because you have little ones. So, no, I'm so serious. These moments that you can spend with your children on the road and just sharing with them and teaching them about what's around here are amazing transformational opportunities for them.
Awesome. My wife will be super happy because she's really pushing. She's really pushing. So what was one of the best resources that you've used so far during your journey?
For me, again, because of my lack of resources and lack of income, books were a lot of how I learned to transform in the beginning. And so, one of my most favorite books that kind of opened up my mind to love and different ways of showing and giving love was Dr. Gary Chapman's 5 Love Languages. Before I read that book, I was looking for love. I was looking for people to show me love the way that I understood it and only that way. And there were so many people in my life that were showing me love in their own way, and I just could not receive it. I could not understand that those actions equal to love feel, unwanted and unlovable. But once I read that book and I go, oh, wow, yeah, I remember this person doing these things, and that's how they show love, and this other person did it this way, and this other person did it another way, I realized, we are all so incredibly different in the way that we express ourselves, the way that, what we need to feel loved and feel supported. And so that book really opened up my mind. So books in general, I think, are amazing resources.
Awesome. I love it. So let's talk about Stop the Bully Within. You are launching a podcast. So tell us about that. How did that happen? Why do the podcast?
So the idea of the podcast was not even in my mind until I went to that summit that you and I met, the Steve Osher Summit. And I went there with the idea of, meeting podcasters and getting on the shows and promoting my work and getting more visibility from my work. And I'm sitting in the audience, and what really struck me was that each and every one of you icons, you were an icon there, you were expressing so much joy and passion and authenticity in your work as a host of your podcast. And that's how I like to work. That's how I like to live. I want to do things that just feels right to me, and that's, do something that I can have a lot of fun with, but impact a lot of people. And so as I'm sitting there in the audience, I'm like, totally can do that. And I know exactly what topic I want to talk about because this is a topic that I see over and over and over again in all of my clients. And that is, they are their biggest bully. The words that we talk to ourselves, how we beat ourselves up, those things is what's really robbing us of our self-esteem and self-confidence and self-love. And I want people to become really aware of that and give them tools and techniques to transform that inner critic, that inner bully into their best friend and champion.
That's awesome. And it launches when?
It launches January 18th, so next week
Coming
on
up.
Thursday. Yes.
Yep. Coming up. What kind of guests have you had on there?
So, I started with doing interview shows, and I decided that was not the right thing for me. It wasn't bringing me that level of joy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I was
Fair
saying,
enough.
like everything I do has to feel really authentic and joyful for me. And part of it is probably because I'm an inexperienced interviewer. So I don't feel like I'm drawing out enough from my guests to make a huge impact on my audience. And so I didn't want to have a show where people are just listening, just, to fill time. I wanted to be incredibly impactful. And so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to give away my best content. I'm going to just share with people what I know and the steps that I take with my private one-on-one clients to transform them. And if someone's listening to my show and can take a few nuggets away and transform their lives, oh my gosh, that would be everything for me.
I love it. I love your passion. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. So you got some books too, yeah?
I do. But you know what? Before I answer that question, I want to go back to your last question with the guests.
Yeah.
So I've decided to do solo shows, but I have had several amazing guests that, because they're just so passionate about what they do. I don't have to be a good interviewer. They just spill out of them. And one of them is one of your fellow icon, Bruce Langford. He does a podcast on mindfulness mode, and he and I have been internet friends for many years, and we met in person for the first time at the summit, and I had him on the show, and he is just like oozing with knowledge and passion for the topic. I was so incredibly excited about interviewing him, and I can't wait to release that episode. And then on to the book. Go ahead.
No, yeah, go ahead. I was saying, I was a guest on Bruce's show, and he is absolutely amazing.
He is. I mean, I love his genuineness and his, authenticity, and he's just the most wonderful person. I adore him. You asked about the books. I have 3 books, and they are all written for a teen audience because that's my heart and my passion. The content in the book can apply to anybody who's ready to make some transformations by understanding their thoughts, their feelings, and learning how to take control of it. The first one is called 5 Simple Questions to Reclaim Your Happiness. The second one is called I Would, but My Damn Mind Won't Let Me, and that's kind of a primer for the mind. And the third book is Unleash Your Inner Superpowers, because we all have them.
Oh, yeah. I love it. So tell me where you're headed with all this, like new adventures, businesses, family. Like, how does it all play into your journey and where you're headed and what you're doing?
So the latest thing, of course, is the podcast that is coming up. It's been taking a lot of my time, and I've been having so much fun. There's so much to learn, and I am a lifelong learner. Anytime I get to learn and experiment with new things, it's been a really good journey into this podcasting world, and transforming, my work into my lifelong passion. And the whole thing with my love for travel is I'm doing everything I can to build an incredibly mobile business so that no matter where I am, I can still be serving clients while serving my own personal needs of getting out there and experiencing life. So my husband and I have several RV vacations all lined up for this year, and I just can't wait to start going.
Where are you going?
Unfortunately, right now we are going nowhere because we have to winterize the RV. So our next RV trip is not until March.
Okay.
Yes. And that first trip is actually going to Florida just to thaw out. We would love some sunshine.
Oh, perfect. So I'm curious, what do you enjoy most about what you do?
The transformation I see in others. I work with a lot of people who are very depressed or very anxious or have very little hope in their lives. And when they come in to see me, they're like, I hate to use this word, but the way that they feel, the way they portray themselves is that they're broken. Something's wrong with them. They're broken. And when I give them the reassurance and the tools and the healing processes to help them see that, no, they're not broken at all. They've never been broken. They've always been their true self, just kind of masked and hidden beneath the stories and the pain. And when they really recognize that and really understand it, that moment when you can see it in their eyes, where hope just come alive again, it is such a beautiful, beautiful moment. And of course, once they complete that journey, that healing journey, and they're in that place of personal power, of happiness, of, living their truth, that is a gift that they give me that I can't just, I can't even begin to express what that feels like to be a part of their journey into that space.
Love it, love it, love it. That's what this is all about. Love it. Ooh, I got goosebumps just now. So that I love because we're halfway through. So, Life Transformation Radio listeners, if you're listening and anything has resonated with you, you can go ahead and call in at 657-383-1109. Again, the number is 657-383-1109. And if you have a question for Jacqui or myself, we would love to talk to you about stopping the bully within and anything about transformation, emotional blocks, any of that stuff. So would love to do that. So Jacqui, do you have any future plans? Like, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, traveling a whole lot more. I know I keep on going back to that, but that is definitely my passion.
That is definitely your purpose in life is to travel.
My purpose in life, my goal in life is living every single moment to the fullest and just being completely content and happy no matter what I'm doing, whether that's work-related or play-related. And my 5-year plan is definitely that traveling, but traveling not only to play, but to create bigger impact in my work. One of my goals in mind is that I want to have live workshops. I've done a few live workshops locally where I lived, when I was living in California, and I haven't done too many here in North Carolina yet, but that's definitely in the books. But I want to be able to do my traveling and be able to provide live workshops as I travel. So, for example, I might plan out 4, 6, 8 different workshops around where I want to travel, so that when I'm there, I get to do my personal fulfillment and I get to do my professional fulfillment in helping others live in person, because there's something so wonderful about that live in-person connection.
Awesome. Amazing. So this is the point in the show, my second favorite one, shameless plug. You can plug your friends, quotes, websites, Facebook, your products, movies, books. Give a shout out, whatever you want. This is your moment to shamelessly plug. Shameless plug moment. Go.
All right. I'm going to start with thanking you for having me on the show, because I definitely am enjoying our conversation. And I know just being on your show could increase my exposure to other people who might be needing my resource. So thank you for that. And then plugging my personal stuff. Stop the Bully Within is launching next Thursday. And I would love for you to be a part of that. So you can find more information about the show and launch date and get the iTunes links and the Stitcher links and all of that on my website. And that is Jacqui Letran, JacquiLetran.com. And if you can't wait until Thursday and you want more of what I do, I have 3 books out. They're on Amazon, and the 3 books should populate, and you should be able to, get an ebook or a physical copy, whatever it is that you like. And let's see, who else do I want to plug? You know what? I want to plug Steve Osher. He's the guy that put us together, right? Steve Osher, I didn't really know a whole lot about him, but when I heard what he was doing, bringing podcasters, icon podcasters with audiences and connecting them on such a personal level. I'm like, I don't know him. I like the idea. I'm going to hop onto that and see what that's all about. And Steve's summit was probably one of the more expensive summit that I went to, but it was worth every single penny. The relationship I made with the icons, with the other attendees, and how that has just kind of changed the route of where I'm taking my business with this podcast launch. It is just all amazing. So if you don't know about Steve and you're in the business world and you're looking, to get more exposure, check him out, Steve Osher.
Yeah, and the New Media Summit is going to be in April in San Diego. So we're going back there. And I will be an icon coming back, and the New Media Summit will be April 11th, 12th, or 11, 12th, 13th, and 14th. Yeah, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, so you go to New Media Summit, newmediasummit.net, I believe is the website. But, we're still in early phases, and it's in April, and it's going to be amazing. This time around is going to be better than ever. So that last event, gosh, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. The New Media Summit event last September.
It really was. I mean, like when I was there, I just could not believe the caliber of the participants. I was just blown away. Like there were at least, 15 people that I follow on a professional basis for their training material. And I'm like, and they're in the room with me, learning with me. This is so cool.
Right? Oh yeah. I was like, everybody's hanging out, and there's a lot of podcasts that came out of that event. I've helped people launch some podcasts. I know Steve has. There's been quite a few podcasts launched from that event. So pretty excited. And yours launching next Thursday, Stop the Bully Within podcast.
Yes, so definitely stop by and check it out. And, I hope to provide a lot of really good content to really help you transform your mindset so that you can really stop that inner critic and really be the person you really are underneath all of those stories. Yeah,
absolutely. So before we wrap up and close, I have one question that passionate question. So resilience is my absolute passion. Resilience. How do you, when you're working with people or someone comes to you, what do you tell them about resilience? How do we build resilience?
So, resiliency is such a wonderful topic, and it's just a wonderful mindset. But when I work with clients, I don't really approach it from that aspect, because a lot of my clients, that's not what they're looking for. If I tell them, I'm going to show you how to be resilient, they're going to be like, okay, whatever, Jacqui. I go through the back door, and the back door is the foundation, which is self-love. And so I teach all of my clients, that being kind to themselves matter, and that they matter, and that if they start treating themselves with the same level of kindness and love and respect that they treat other people, then they will build up that confidence in themselves. And confidence, self-love, all of that equals to resiliency, because then you're at a place where you know what? Life's going to happen. Things are going to fall apart, but I'm okay, and I'm strong enough to handle anything that comes my way.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So as we wrap up, we always wrap up by delivering your best nugget of knowledge that will motivate, transcend, and inspire someone to take action.
So it's easier said than done for a lot of people, but, I really want listeners, for you to know that no matter what you're struggling with right now, no matter the challenge, the difficulties, know that this too shall pass. You are worth it. You have everything you need within yourself to create the life that you want and deserve. Maybe you need to reach out and get some help. It could be professional help. It could be just from, a friend or a family members, or your favorite book or podcast. But know that you are deserving of that time, you investing in yourself to get yourself to that level that you are happy with.
That's so needed too. Holy crap, that is, and that's an element that's missing out of a lot of things I see on different social medias and websites, and people who are saying, I do this, like that part. Do you feel like that too? Like that part is really missing.
Definitely. And we forget to take care of ourselves and do the things that we love, do the things that make us feel alive and authentic and wonderful. We are so busy just doing other things, doing things for people, doing things to stay busy, doing things to make money. And we just drain ourselves of our natural happiness, our natural joy. And when you just pause and remember that, no matter what you're going through, it will pass. You are okay, and you are worthy to take that moment to take care of yourself. And then you take that moment to take care of yourself, you can transform your life step by step.
Yes. Absolutely. I tell people all the time, like one little thing every day, like one step, right? Like day after day. You know, I forgot who said it, but I heard that greatness is a lot of small things done well, day after day, obedience after obedience. And it's so
I
true.
love it.
If you have a daily habit, right? Like if you instituted like I always tell people, like have a attitude of gratitude habit, like cultivate that habit where you count 3 blessings a day, right? You count 3 blessings a day. You will start to develop a habit where you see a lot of positivity. But if you focus on the negativity, that's what you will see. You will see negatives. You know? So that step by step that you're talking about, like, oh my gosh, that is like my whole foundation of how I've cultivated the mindset that I have to look at things in a different way and not so closed-minded. It's just every day, like one thing. People who, are not good at the gym, they just, they add a couple pounds. Every time they go, they add a couple pounds to the weight bench, If I wanted to get good at push-ups, I would just add 1 push-up a day than what I did the previous day. You're always adding, you're always moving forward. And I think that people get lost they don't feel like they're progressing. That's when they get lost. But that daily step, like one step after another, and pretty soon all the little steps equal the big step that you were trying to accomplish. If that makes any sense.
Oh my gosh, definitely. I love that. You said a lot of things that I completely agree with. And those baby steps, like a lot of people, like my clients, when I first started talking to them about baby steps, and I said, well, or we can do this, right? We can do the thing that you want to do, this big goal. And they're like, I can't do that. And I said, okay, so you can't do this big goal. Can you do this baby step? Yes, I can. Then I get excited about it. And then I'm like, well, you know what? Like you said, just put one foot in front of another. Just take one step at a time. And these tiny baby steps will become big, impactful changes. And the whole idea with that is just being consistent, just giving yourself permission to know that you are a beginner at whatever it is that you're trying to learn to change about yourself or change about your world. That right now you're a beginner, and it's okay as a beginner to take these baby steps. You'll get better. You'll be more informed. You can take bigger steps down the road, but you got to start. If you look at the big goal and go, I need to finish that, chances are you'll get overwhelmed, and then you don't start, and you don't do anything, and nothing happens. But when you give yourself permission to be a beginner and to take baby steps, you will create the change that you desire.
Boom. Straight mic drop. I love it. So as we close, what should someone do today? We always close the show with a call to action. So what are they going to do? I mean, we talked about going to your website, which is JacquiLetran.com, or your Facebook.com/StopTheBullyWithin. But what should someone do today to get them started in the right direction for transformation? I feel that caveat to that is it's not going to happen overnight. Everybody wants the progress. Like, if I do things for like 2 days or 2 hours or whatever, like it'll happen like so much faster. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I mean, it's been 10 years since my, major adversity that I went through that changed my life. And I still battle every day. I battle that negative mindset. I just don't feel like it. Like, I still struggle every day. I got a TEDx talk. I still struggle. Am I good enough? Like, it's never going to go away. So what is your call to action to close the show?
So my call of action is this. Just take a moment to look inwards and really remember what it is that you love. What is it that just bring that smile to your face, that make you feel like all warm and fuzzy inside? And then give yourself permission to do that. And, if for you it's something really grand and you're not able to do that thing right away, what is that little baby steps that you can start doing right now, today, to start moving yourself towards the bigger goal? So go back inside and just remember what brings that smile to your face and give yourself permission to do more of that.
That is probably the greatest call to action that I have had in 70 episodes on this show. That was so good. Like, I'm so pumped right now because full transparency. I've been working on this guide that my goal was to have it done like Monday. Like, of course it didn't happen, and I was trying to get it done, but I'm just like, I'm so frustrated right now. Like today, I've been so frustrated all day because I'm trying to get it done, and then something else happens, and then something else happens, and then I got to do this, and like I'm getting pulled away from it, which either tells me that I'm sucking at like scheduling my time, or something great is going to come from this because the universe is trying to stop me or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it's the devil trying to stop me or whatever you call it, right? But either I get pulled away and then I get distracted, but oh my gosh, like I am a big advocate of like dumb it down to the littlest. If you want to make $100,000 a year, you have to make something like $274 a day or something like that, like $274. Like I am all about drilling down a mile deep and like an inch wide. You know what I mean? Like you got to get to the core, and I think that's what people are going to find out when they listen to your show. Is they're going to go a mile deep and an inch wide on what it is that is that bully that's in them.
Right, and it's that bully that says you don't deserve to do that thing that you love because you have all of these other responsibilities, right? So,
yes.
Sean, I'm going to challenge you to do more of what you love. So what are you going to do tonight?
Well, as soon as I hang up, my wife has made an amazing slow cooker pot roast. So I'm going to dominate some pot roast. Potatoes, carrots, slow cooked for like 5 hours. It's going to be amazing. Afterwards, I'm thinking like probably like 7:30, I guess, like an hour for dinner. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to drill down, remove the phone like from the room, and I'm going to I have to get what I was working on today. Like I have to get this done because I've said, okay, I'm going to get this part, I'm going to get this part, like daily, like I'm going to get this part, because I love the daily goals. But it always seems like something happens, so I'm just going to lock myself away for like an hour until like 8:30 and be like, I'm going to solely laser focus on this. So I have to I'm going to close out all of the browser. Like it's not going to have Facebook up and it's not going to have a phone in the room. Like, cause that's, when I see a pop-up message, I'm like, oh yeah, my little OCD stuff has got a message. Got to check it. So,
yeah, I'm with you there.
Like I always tell people, like I have ADOS, which is attention deficit squirrel. So I literally, I'm going to take you out. Like I have to drill down. I have to be laser focused, on doing this and only this, because I can do 2 or 3, 4 things at one time, and then I get nothing done. So.
Yes. So
great call to action.
Before you get super laser focused, enjoy your dinner. I mean,
yes.
Enjoy your time with your family. Let go of some of that stress so that when you do decide to lock yourself away, you are fresh and you are light and you are just ready to do some great, amazing work.
Love it. So, Jacqui, do you have any last words for our guests before we close the show?
I'm just going to reiterate what I say. Just remember that you are worthy of investing in yourself, and go ahead and just do more of what you love right now, starting today.
Do more of what you love. I love it. Oh, I love that. I got to keep that in mind. Like that should be on like a wall somewhere in your RV. Do more of what you love.
I could do that.
So, Jacqui, I want to thank you. You've been an amazing guest. So much of what you said resonated with transformation and taking those little steps, and I am super pumped. January 18th, next Thursday, Stop the Bully Within podcast. It's going down. And I'm going to listen. I'm going to rate, review, and subscribe to your show. So I am super excited for what's going to be created and where you're going to take that show. So, Jacqui, thank you so much for your time, your vulnerability, and just you as a person. Amazing. Thank you so much.
thank you for your time and having me on the show. You are freaking awesome.
All right. Thank you so much. We will talk very, very soon. So, Life Transformation Radio listeners, if you have listened to the show and you don't have goosebumps, you better check your pulse. Amazing guest, amazing content. Look up Jacqui Letran at JacquiLetran.com. Go to Facebook.com/Stop the Bully Within. Amazing podcast coming up January 18th. It's going to blow your mind. So if anything resonated with you, look us up on iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher. Rate and review the show. I ask that you subscribe so you do not miss an episode. On this show, we have amazing guests like Jacqui that is just elevating everybody's life around her. If you feel the need to connect, please do that. As we close, I always say, live your brand. Find opportunities every day to live out the values that you hold deep in your heart. And I call that living your brand. Until next episode, have a great night.